Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, my name is Sasha. I love reviewing indie eyeshadow palettes. I do a lot of indie palette reviews, especially the smaller brands, but for today's video I'm going to be reviewing the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. So I love Natasha Denona formula, and I mean she's one of them high-end brands that I tried out, so it's like I'm always a fan, you guys, but I will always share my honest opinions. And since I review a lot of indie palettes, I'm more into colorful palettes, more sparkling shadows, so I'm very more critical when it comes to like more on a neutral palette. But this one really caught to me because just the cool tones, just the pretty soft tones. I forgot to turn my phone off, you guys, because I get a lot of notifications, but yes, I got this for the tones, the pretty. I know I'm not too crazy like for neutral palettes, but this one I love the tones and the different texture this palette has, and I wanted to try it out myself, and plus I was like very sold out by those sparkling shadow swatches. I'm like, oh, I really need it. So I did hesitate to get this one for a few days because I mean, it is expensive, and I'm like, can I even afford it right now? So I just did a payment plan thing like I always do. And also, I was wondering if should I get it through Sephora or through Natasha Denona website, and then I decided, well, let me just save some money because there's a lot of affiliate codes out there now that you could save, I think, 15% off. I'm like, I'd rather save money. So I bought this through the Natasha Denona website, and I'm so happy I was able to save money, guys, even through the payment plan, because right now I can't be like going crazy with buying, you know. But I'm so happy to have this because I already created 2 other eye looks, and I want to give you guys 3 different eye looks so I can give you guys a better review. So this palette retails for $69, and it features 15 new enchanted, muted, rosy, and nude shades. So it has some new formula in this palette. So this includes 2 high shine metallics, 7 buttery soft mattes, and 3 captivating sparkling foiled finishes. And it says 3 of the eyeshadows is in a new wet effect formula with sparkly and glossy finishes. And this one, I think you're gonna get a lot of similar looks unless you really try to keep him like more of a different tones. So that's what I tried doing with the 2 looks I've done already. The first look, I went more with the purple mauve tones. I really wanted to play with the purple mauve. Like when it comes to those type of tones, like I'm so in love with those tones. And plus the shade Mia, that's such a beautiful shimmer because it leans a little bit purplish and silver. It's such a nice topper shimmer too. You could build it up or you could have it like light as a topper. And I think the only shade I had trouble with, maybe it might be Tender. I think Tender is a, let me see, cream to matte. Yeah, so certain cream to matte formulas, you have to be more familiar with Natasha Denona's formula, so I probably have to get used to it, but I don't know, I had a little bit trouble with that one. Well, now for the second eye look, I tried to do it more like a little bit orangey, a little bit gray, but I tried to focus more on the orange tones, and I wanted to add a little bit extra something to that look. So I did like an angled halo look with that one. So with the shade Muse, that shade is very, very sparkly and beautiful. It's like, it leans a little bit like gold champagne, and I wanted to do something extra with that look, so I got my More Cosmetics liquid glitter eyeliner. I think it's in the shade Alter Ego. I highly recommend those. They're really nice. So as long as you have a stable hand, and I think you're able to, you know, use it fairly well, especially if you're used to using liquid eyeliners, because the tip of it's not super long. Yeah, I needed to add something to that look. I thought that look was very pretty, so you could keep this palette like very wearable, or you could amp it up with some glitter liners or some shifty liners too. If you have more my style, like more colorful style, then you could do something special, something like that, or just, you know, pop in a different highlighter too, like a colorful highlighter, so you guys could make this more fun too if you wanted to, or if you just want to make it for every day, then that's fine too. But yeah, those are the 2 looks I created. I love those 2, especially the second look. That one's like more my style, so I was really happy to play with the glitter liners because I haven't played with them in a while. But so I'm going to be doing my 3rd eye look, and I want to do more browns, I guess. So let me see, I am gonna do probably Stone. Let me get the shade Stone right here, and I'm not gonna prep my I'm not gonna put eye primer. So the first time I did put eye primer, I used a sticky eye primer by Thrive Cosmetics. The second look, I did not use eye primer. I felt like I did my eye look better without the primer. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just do that. To step off camera real quick. So I have my youngest with me still. I'm gonna take him to, let's see. I'm gonna take him to preschool in a bit. He only goes for 3 hours, so I only have him for a little bit. And yeah, I'm just gonna quickly put this shade on, the shade Stone. Yeah, to quickly get off camera real quick, just so I could help him with something. I think just with certain cream to matte formula, let me see, this shade is a cream to matte, a creamy matte. So I think some creamy mattes were fine. Yes, there's certain shades that kind of stay on, but this one's a good one. So I think Silhouette, it may be vague, even from swatching too. Sometimes when it comes to those, when I swatch the palette, then it kind of it stayed on too on my arm. So that's why you guys see in my swatches it looks more pigmented. So I guess you could build them up if you wanted to. But I think this palette will be great for everyday, for work, and if you don't want to like, and also it depends on your skin tone too. My skin tones, it's like between the light, medium, and medium. And the looks I created, they were very like nude, like they were very wearable. Like it was just giving like a hint of a color on my eyelids, you know. And yeah, I think I really love this matte. I really love that matte. And just let me get the shade Vague right here. I'm just so tempted, you know, even though I just use this in my, on the second look, but I just want to test it out. Yeah, this is like a creamy matte, but this one kind of stays on a little bit. So that's why I'm saying you have to be more familiar with Natasha Denona's formula. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's okay. This one's easier to work with. I think Silhouettes might be a little bit more difficult to play with, but let me see. I'm just gonna put this on the other side. So you could add some warmth. So it's a little bit nude. I mean cool, but nude, but also has a hint of warmth. So even from swatching it, I noticed there's a balance like of cool and also a little bit warm, but the warm shades, they're not too warm. It's just adding, it's just warming up the cooler shades. It'll help it if you don't want to do too much of a cool tone look. I just put out some NYX glitter glue on real quick on my eyelids. I really love putting NYX glitter glue because I think it really helps to shimmers to stay, especially because I feel like some of these shimmers are a little bit loose. So you have to be careful with that. I would say do your makeup, do your eye makeup before you do your face, but yeah, the NYX glitter glue will help. So let me see, I was gonna do more brownish. So let me see, let me get the shade Ella right here. I'm gonna just focus this on the end part. So you could do like a bronzy look, or like orangey look, or a purplish look, or dark brown and like a dark brown and purple look. So that dark brown, I think you can build it up. But what was I saying? Yeah, but you won't get you will get a lot of depth with this one. You do get some depth, but it's just more of a wearable depth. Your looks are not gonna come out like super dramatic unless you make it like super smoky with eyeliner too. Then I think that's possible. But it's a pretty shade. You see the little shimmers. See, some of I had a little bit fallout, and yeah, let me see. Let me get a little bit lighter shimmer. I will get your Tavertine right here. So this look is gonna look simple, but I'm gonna make it look really different. So some of these are really like smooth, like satin shimmers. So I feel like I have to build them up a little bit, just a little bit. I got to dig for it a little bit. Okay, but okay, so I am not liking the satin shimmers. I might have to mix another shimmer in. So let me just flatten this down. So I don't like the satin shimmer. Like that's the first satin shimmer I don't like so far. I will use my finger on the other side, see if it performs a little better. But I know satin shimmers are more for older people, I would say, because sometimes because the shimmer could be too much on more wrinkly eyelids. That's why. So yeah, I think that looks a lot better putting it less. I put too much right there, so I think I'll probably add a little bit extra. So I will add something extra on top. So let me put a shimmer on top. Let's put sheen, a little bit of sheen right here. I'm gonna use my pinky. This one leans a little bit yellowish, but I'm just gonna put it on top. And right here too. I'm gonna use Silhouette. I know I just put next glitter glue, so hopefully it doesn't get affected wherever if I place it near the next glitter glue, but I forgot to add some depth, so I'm just gonna pack it on. Oh my gosh, so that's so pigmented, but you can also have a light brown too. So I'm just gonna pat it. And yeah, I thought this one was gonna give me trouble. Maybe blending it out, yes, but just adding like a little, like just adding like some depth right there in this corner, I think it's fine. Or maybe not. Hold on. Yeah, maybe not blending it, but let me just get that shade Vague, the orangey tone. Oh yeah, I don't like that matte. So let me just fix this up a little bit. And I'm just gonna kind of smoke it out right here too, like how I've been doing my other looks on the lash line. Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. I really liked how it looked before, but I'm trying to make it look different, that's why. So just like I said earlier, the shade Silhouette, it kind of does stay on. You have to work with the blending on that one a little bit. But yeah, I was able to fix it, so I'm really happy about that. It's just something I have to point out, so that one might give you trouble if you're not familiar with Natasha Denona's formula. So I'm going to get the shade Vague right here. I'm going to use similar shades, I believe. Yeah, I'm gonna use similar shades, but I'm gonna change up this because I'm gonna use like a shifty eyeliner. That's why, just to make it a little bit special. But I'm really loving how this look is turning out. Like it's turning out really dark, like I wanted to. I wanted to make all the looks different, because I know with this palette it'll be kind of hard to do different looks unless you really try hard. But yeah, I think the sparkles they have, I appreciate the sparkles. If this palette lacked any sparkles at all, then I'll probably not pick up this palette. Most likely I wouldn't. But, and I think also another thing I'll probably point out after I finish once I wrap this up. But yeah, I'll probably get the shade Tender right here instead of Silhouette, because Silhouette, that shade could be built up really dark. So let me see, just like that. Yeah, very easy. So am I gonna use the inner corner? I could add an inner corner. Delilah. Yeah, I'll get the shade Delilah for the inner corner. It's a really sparkly, it's very pretty. This one's leans a little bit purplish, just like the Mia shade. Might be a little bit dark for the inner corner. Yeah, it is a little bit dark. So I'll just add another shade in. But let me just spread this out and then add another shimmer right on top of it. I could put, maybe a little bit of Muse. Let's do that. Let's put a little bit of Muse. That one's gonna be really impactful, but maybe it'll be enough just to add what I need for the lid. Okay, so this is how the look's looking. Really like it. So it's very mocha. in a way, like, right? It looks very mocha comparing to the other two. I think the other two, one was like more purplish mauve. The second look was, what was it, more orangey. Now this one's more mocha. So you could get a nice variety with this palette with the neutral tones, but let me see. I also want to add, I got this in PR, guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. But this is from Early Cosmetics. So they gave me a bunch of stuff, but I just want to play with this real quick. So this from the Immortal Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner set. And this is the shade, oh, from the Curse set. I'm going to use the shade, I think, Amulet. I have not swatched it, but I'm thinking it looks like a nice shade. So it's supposed to be like a shifty eyeliner. Oh yeah, it shifts like a purplish taupey. Yeah, I think it might add like a nice something. The point of it's not super pointy, so I might have trouble doing my eyeliner with this, but let me just try. I'll fix it. So I'm gonna do the other side, and I'm gonna put some lashes on and give you guys my final thoughts about this Natasha Denona palette. So right here's the finished look, and I love it. I love it. So I think I love it more because I added the eyeliner too. Something like a little special, not just a black eyeliner, but something little special. So I can't really see the shift in the purple on this one. Maybe a little bit very subtle. But yeah, it looks very like toffee with this look. So let me give you guys my final thoughts about the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. So as you guys can tell, I do love it. It's not gonna beat any of my smaller indie palettes that I freaking adore, that I love very, very much, because I invested in those, you know, in those palettes. But this one is such an investment too, obviously. So yeah, I think the quality is great. The mattes are really easy to work with. The only one I have had issue with it was the shade Silhouette. And Vague was fine too. I thought that one was going to give me a problem, but I think it was the shade Tender. Like when I was building up the mattes, like the Mesh, Tender, and Stone, like I think with the first look, I was having a bit trouble on just the first eye, but that's about it. So overall, I think this palette is very like nice to work with, and especially if you're very familiar with Natasha Denona formula, then I think you'll love this one. And this palette is more aimed for like almost like everyone, especially people who are older, who want a little bit sparkle, but they don't want the sparkle to emphasize on their lids, like to make it more wrinkly. Like we don't want that, you guys. But I think the shade Travertine, when it comes to satin shimmers, it's good to not build them up, you guys. So I think Travertine, I was able to pull it off because I did build it up too much right here, but it looks fine once I applied it on this side, as you guys seen earlier. So I need to play with the satin shimmers more. I need to see how Whisper looks on the lid. I'm sure I used it, but I need to test it out again. And I wasn't able to use the shade Filigree. So there's only a few shades I wasn't able to use, but overall, I try to do my best to do different eye looks, and I love all the looks. So if I had to choose, I mean, I love all of them. You guys, if you guys know me, I love purple tones. So there's not like a lot of purple tones, but you could kind of give that purple mauve look to it from the tones I used on my first look. I really love that look, but I can't choose. They're all pretty much even to me, but you could do a lot of different looks, like, but they're gonna lean more nude, taupey, a little purple, depending what you go for. And the different textures in this shimmers, there's different texture in the shimmers, so you get like some sparkly shimmers, but you get some subtle shimmers. I feel like it's something different from Natasha Denona, so I'm really happy to see that. I love these type of tones, you guys. I have also the Glam palette, so I'm going to show you guys some comparisons, not swatches, but just side by side with the Glam palette and the I Need a Nude. So the Glam palette, it has some grays, a little bit lighter shades, but you get a lot more shimmers in this one. So I think this one, a lot of people love this one, but this one you get more variety of different type of shimmers, has in like different sparkle effects, just like what she explained in her description. And it has a little bit like pinky and taupe, and while this one's more gray and I guess neutral. They're really different from each other, but the retro, I think they're gonna complement each other so well. So Natasha Denona palettes, they are magnetic, so you're able to customize them. So that's a great thing about her palettes. But I think these two, they're gonna be used a lot together. Here's another comparison I want to do. This is the Mina Biba. I don't have the big Biba, but I wish I did. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think this one's like probably the most similar. But I compared them side by side with the orange tones. They're a little bit different. I think the closest one is, I think those are the closest, but pretty much this would be a great complementary palette to go with too. I also want to mention about the packaging. I didn't get to talk about the packaging, I always forget, but the packaging is very, very bulky, very heavy comparing to her older Made Eye palettes. So they look a little bit smaller in a way, you know, her older ones. But I prefer her older version, how the packaging is, because it's just nice, slim, sleek, and it's easy to fit into places. You know, you could fit in like multiple Made Eye palettes in one place, while this one takes so much space and it's a lot heavier too. Yes, it does give a nice luxurious feeling, but I just get carpal tunnel sometimes. Like if I want to hold a palette, then I get carpal tunnel, like especially if it's like a heavy palette. So it's not like a palette I would like to hold. And I guess for other people too, if you guys love to hold your palettes while doing your makeup too, that's another thing you have to consider. But overall, I think this is a nice neutral palette. I can see myself using this on no makeup days, and if I just want to put something on my eyes too. I think the shimmers are pretty. I do like the shimmers a lot. So they're not like very out there shimmers. There are some very sparkly shimmers, like the shade Muse. That was super sparkly. So yeah, you could do like a nice glam look. I didn't do super glam looks. I don't think I did I? But I try to do all my looks differently. But overall, I think this is a nice palette for every day, and also to complement with your other Natasha Denona palettes. But that's all I have to point out about this I Need a Nude palette. But that's gonna be it. So I really hope you guys find this video helpful. Let me know if you guys picked up this palette, or if you guys are thinking about it picking it up later. And remember, I review a lot of smaller indie palettes. I do a lot of those. So if you guys are into that kind of content or enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe before leaving today, because I love to have you guys here. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.